Hey everybody, this is Jim with Song Tripping. Welcome back. I want to do a Christmas feature. It's snowing a little bit outside today, 2 days before Christmas 2022, and I'm in the mood to talk about some more Christmas music. My last video was about Jackie Gleason's album Lonesome Echo from 1955, and now I want to talk about his 1956 album, one of the albums he produced, Merry Christmas. This is a classic, a stone cold classic Christmas album. It's not an album that I grew up with. I grew up in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and we didn't have it in the house. We tended to go for the Grant's Christmas albums and a few scattered other solo artists, but this is not music I was familiar with until much later in life, till I got to middle age. But I fell in love with it, and I find it a haunting album and also soothing, as a lot of easy listening music can be. The album, here by the way, is the back cover. You can see some nice artwork. I'll read you a little bit of the copy from the back cover. For all who treasure the memories and the sentiments and the romance of Christmas time, this is a rich, rewarding album in the gentlest spirit of the season. Key word there is gentle. This is gentle to the extreme. Go back to the copy. Here is warming fireside holiday music of a kind that is meant for those precious hours when evening reaches toward dawn and thoughts drift into dreams of holidays gone by and of those yet to come. The mood is soft, with the glow of Christmas lights seen through a snowfall, and gay with the stir of a tree trimming party. The melodies are familiar ones, but their settings most certainly are not, for even Jingle Bells emerges as a lovely, almost haunting thing in the hands of Jackie Gleason, the showman who so deftly turns listening into a constantly fresh and memorable event. Okay, we'll pause right there. Here's what the albums look like. I have 2 copies of this on vinyl. First of all, we got this gray label Capitol. I think this was the earlier pressing, and then this is likely, I'm going to guess, maybe a 50s pressing with that rainbow label. I haven't really researched it too carefully. It's an album, once I got curious to hear it, I spent actually quite a long time trying to find it in the used record stores. I think it took me about 8 to 12 months till I could locate a copy. And just in my area here in southeast Pennsylvania and Delaware, Philly area, I didn't go to like every store or anything, but it just didn't turn up at the thrift shops or in the used record stores or library sales. And finally I found a copy. I forget where. I bought it. Then I found a second copy on vinyl. So I felt very fortunate to get it. Before I got either of the vinyl copies, I got this CD copy. This was issued on Razor and Tie label. It was mastered by Steve Hoffman, and this came out, I think, in 1995, it says. So this guy sounded great, and I think this was the first one I got. I believe I bought this on eBay. I found actually a pretty affordable copy. I think it's out of print, so I think it's going for a much higher amount of money these days. But thoughts on this Jackie Gleason album? Well, it is, yes, soft, definitely descriptive, instrumental. It does feature some background vocals, and let me go back to the jacket copy here that talks a little bit about the concept and the arrangements behind it, and I'll also go through the the track listings. The arrangements in this album are unique ones, for Jackie Gleason has augmented his large orchestra with an electric celeste, whose fragile sound adds a new dimension to songs well loved. Playing it is Hercules. That's the nickname of the guy, Hercules. We don't have any more name than that. Just Hercules played the electric celeste. And Hercules is described as an outstanding master of the instrument. I wonder how many people play the electric celeste. Complementing these orchestral arrangements are the Keith Textor singers, with vocalized performances that indeed express the mood of a merry, merry Christmas. Okay, let's show you the back here. Got some ring wear there showing up on the back. Our tracks are I'll Be Home for Christmas, Christmas in Paris, Jingle Bells, White Christmas, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, The Christmas Song, I've Got My Love to Keep Me Warm, Snowfall, By the Fireside, Home, Happy Holiday, Winter Wonderland, and The Story of a Starry Night. All right. So here are some just stray comments about this. It is super relaxing music. It is soft. It is sort of silvery. It glistens. It's very lush, silky. The strings are quite prominent on the album. The electric celeste is filled with, I guess it's vibrato or tremolo effect. It's like, and it just is really the featured instrument on pretty much every song. And the background vocals, they only vocalize like vowels. They don't really sing words. So it just creates this lush, silky soundscape. And the songs really blend into one another. Like, at moments, if you're not paying strict attention, they just bleed into one another, and it's hard to distinguish one song from the other. One reason for that is because they pretty much are played at the same tempo, and we're talking slow tempo. So critics of this album might say this is a real snooze fest, but to be more forgiving of it, I think it's super relaxing and it's calming. But it's also, and I think when I listened to the CD, this struck me the most, was it's the more haunting, eerie, kind of sort of spooky at times. And here's that word that I brought up in my other Jackie Gleason video about Lonesome Echo, surreal. This is in some ways a surreal Christmas album because it's so extremely slow paced and drawn out that you're not just going to hum along to these tunes. Like Jingle Bells is like slowed down to a crawl. All these songs are slowed down to a crawl, and yet for me it really works. It's sort of a bizarre, obscure, quirky, cool vibe that's created here, and it makes me visualize things. So if I was, I didn't listen to this album when we were raising our daughter. I wasn't aware of it yet, but it would be perfect music to wrap the presents on Christmas Eve by, or to just prepare those final decorations. And if it's snowing outside and it's a little chill in the air and you hear the wind going outside the window, this music would accompany that just perfectly. And if you have none of those things going on outside, the music evokes all that. And I just find it like, it's kind of like a holiday Quelude trip. It is that strange in a beautiful way. Like, I really just love it. I play it every year at Christmas now. So that is the Jackie Gleason Merry Christmas album. He did another one that I have not listened to a little bit later in time. This is the famous one, and a lot of people go back to this. And even though I wasn't born and raised with this album, it does evoke a lot of nostalgic feelings too for growing up in the '60s. It's really sort of worth a listen for sure. It's not going to be to everyone's taste, but let me know what you think of the album in the comments. I think it's widely available on the streaming channels, and once I started finding the vinyl, uh, it I I regularly check Christmas albums when I'm looking in the used bins. It does still turn up. Like if you're just persistent, you're gonna find it. So it might take you a few months, but it'll show up in the bins. It was a popular album, by the way. It peaked at, let's see, 1956, Merry Christmas, Capitol W758, peaked at number 16 on the Billboard Charts. So very respectable for a Christmas album, but it's just one to savor and make it part of your regular Christmas holiday rotation. And with that, I'll conclude the festivities here. And I hope you all have a happy holidays. And let me know what you think of this album and in the comments. Thanks. Bye bye.